Welcome to another episode of Scotch and Scripts, the podcast. Cheers to Meena and Diego. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy to have you guys here.
Cheers. Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Absolutely. So, one of the reasons I wanted to interview you guys and have you on the podcast, you both got your license right around October 2019. So, you've been in the business for about a year. And a lot of people are told when they get their real estate license, make sure you have your money saved up because for your first year or two, you're not going to get any business. It's all going to be about learning, but you're not going to make an income. And so a lot of people walk in believing that. And I want you guys on this call because that has not been your reality. You guys have really plugged into the training. You've been working really hard and you've been able to have some success. And so I want to be able to talk about how you did that. Of course, we know it's not overnight, although it appears overnight to some people. It's gradually, and then suddenly, before you know it, you have listings. So I want to take it back to, let's say, November 2019. You're a new real estate agent. You walk into the office not knowing what to expect. And Meena, I'll start with you. How did you feel being a new real estate agent? Was it completely overwhelming for you?
Actually, it's different. No, it was not overwhelming for me.
Okay.
I was very impressed with the Keller Williams Village Square office.
Okay.
Everyone was really nice, and the moment I walked in, I knew that that was the office I wanted to be in. You remember the corridor that you walk towards Resham's office?
Yes.
Everyone on that wall, all these agents. I am like, wow, they must be doing some work. And somehow I already had that feeling that I want to be here one day. The first day, I was like, one day my pitch is going to be here.
That's awesome.
I visualized that. And then every agent I saw and, anyone talk about their listings, I'm like, how are they getting it? How is it all happening? And it was not overwhelming for me, but it was a mystery.
Okay.
How are they doing this? If they're doing it, it's possible. I wanted to learn how do they do it. I knew for sure there was a system. So yeah, I looked at it as a challenge that I knew I will overcome.
Awesome. So one thing I love that you said was you walked in and you saw the wall, our capping wall. Everyone who's done at least $5 million of business, you saw that. And instead of saying, I can't do that, you said, I want to see myself on that wall. Like
Yes.
that's something that I want to strive for. And I love that about you, that was your attitude when you saw that.
I told Scott, Scott Stewart was the first person who, I met.
Of
And I
course.
told him that, I'm going to be on that wall one day. And he was like, yeah, and he's very sweet. He was very nice about it. I knew being a new agent, just talking like that was also a big thing. But I told him that. I'm sure he remembers.
I'm sure he does. And we will see you on that wall and we will celebrate that when it happens for you and for Diego, right? So just know that we're going to celebrate that. Diego, how about you? What was your feeling, walking into the office? You were a dual career agent, so you had something else going and doing real estate. So coming into the real estate office, how did that make you feel?
Man, complete opposite of me. Now, I was definitely overwhelmed. I've been working in the restaurant industry since I can remember. That was my first job that I've had, and I stayed in that industry ever since. Been bartending since I was 18 years old. I'm 34 now. So that was my other career, was bartending at the time. And it like I walked in and I was like, wow, it's real. Like I'm going to go through a career change and I don't know what to do.
Right.
And, thankfully, I knew Ryan Sundin for a long time. I've known him for, over 12 years. So he had been doing really well. He's been very successful. He is very successful at the moment. And he invited me to the Breakfast Club. And Breakfast Club kind of like, I saw other new agents. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that's worried about this, and just, kind of smooth things out a little bit more.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's always great to be part of a community where there are other people who feel like you, who are in the same shoes as you, and you guys can grow together and stretch each other. So as a new agent, what did you plug into that allowed you to learn this business and actually start having some success and really understand what real estate was all about? And I'll give that
Um,
to Meena. I'll start with Meena.
right.
Oh, okay. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Yes, of course, Meena. So, so Meena, I'm kind of curious to know, like when you first started, we have so many classes, and that's a good thing about our office at Keller Williams. We have so much training that you can plug into. What are some of the things that you plugged into early on that really helped you understand what your job was and what you needed to be doing to be successful?
So when I walked in, when I joined Keller Williams, that was in November. I saw that we had the bold program going on,
Hmm.
which I definitely knew that there was some stuff that I need to learn, and I was on it. I was on the calendar. I wanted to make sure I take as many programs as I could. Scott told me that bold was too early on for me. Um, I did start the coaching program that Keller Williams offers.
Right.
At the same time, I loved Hal Ben's classes.
Hmm.
They were awesome.
They're
I
good.
followed him. I followed him to the Rutherford office. And that time we were not on Zoom. So I would go to Fort Lee for Ignite. That also helped me meet new agents. A lot of new, I mean, I met a lot of agents who were on new on board or had been working. So
Okay.
I got connected, and which was a great feeling. Now I know so many people already.
Gotcha.
Um, I would sit there. Hell, he's an amazing coach, and he talks about everything, and then at that point it gets overwhelming because there's too much information coming in. One thing that, and then I also, sitting there, I was feeling that what am I doing? I'm just learning. I need to work. I need to make money. I'm just spending right now. But in one of the classes he said that uh, real estate curve is, it's going to go flat, and then all of a sudden it's going to go up. I trust you, David. I trust Hell. When I'm sitting in that class, I trust everything that you guys say. And I was like, okay, so I'll wait for that curve to go up. And look, it happened. I mean, I did
Mhm.
not imagine it would happen that soon. I followed the systems, I followed what you guys said, and I was kind of doing it. I was never a social person, never on social media. I started opening up. I would have been a secret agent, but I started from my coaches. I
Yeah.
started talking to people about it, and then I went to India in December, came back in January, again continued with Ignite, and March I did the push program,
Hmm.
where I remember I I'm a good student, I would say. I follow. If you tell me to do this, I
Yes.
will do it. I won't think that okay, maybe this won't work, this will work. You are saying this because you believe in it and you've seen the results. I'll blindly follow that. And that's what I did. I remember first push class, first day, you were like, make those phone calls. I was all in sweat, all red, and my hands are shivering. And I make this first phone call in Rutherford, in my town. And oh my God, you told me the whole point of push was don't hang up, get the preview, get the preview. He hung up on me, and I don't know what happened. I called him again. I'm like, let me come and see the house. And you know what? He gave me the preview. That was my very first preview. And what he
Awesome.
told me, I'm giving it to you because you did not give up. So right there, and if you remember, I told you as soon
Yeah.
as he hung up that was a great experience. Obviously, I didn't get that listing, but that was a start. And I believe in the systems. I believe in you. I'm doing what you guys are telling me to do, and the results are there.
Well, you learned a very valuable lesson from that seller because what they're looking for is they're looking for a salesperson, someone who's not just going to be out
Yeah.
scripted, someone who's not going to get hung up on and go away. You
Yeah.
didn't give up. And a seller's going to want someone like that to represent their home. They want someone who's not going to give up, who's going to push and get their home sold. So you've learned some valuable things. The most important thing you do, though, is you get the knowledge and you're implementing. There's one thing to just sit in class and take notes and keep learning and learning. If you don't take that and execute, you're not going to learn. And so, same question to you, Diego. What really got you going? What training? What got you out there to start creating business opportunities for yourself?
Well, when I first joined KWVSR, literally within maybe 4 days or something, you were starting push 2.0. So that was literally a few days after I had joined, and Ryan said to me, he's like, "Hey, David Ranney's about to start a program. If you listen to anything I say, join that program and listen to everything that he says, because he is the one that mentored me and built me to what I am today." I said, "All right, cool." So I went, I sat there, and you said, "All right, this, you did your thing for the first, I think it was half hour, 15 minutes. If you want
Right.
to take this class, stay. If you don't, go ahead." And at that point, it wasn't even part of coaching like it is now, which,
Mm-hmm.
all the new agents should feel very blessed that this great program is part of coaching. Um, and so that was my first class, really,
Right.
uh, for real estate, and it was the listing presentation.
I love
um,
that though. Love it. Because listen, man, most people went through the prospecting part first, and you came in and went through the listing presentation part first. And what I realized by watching you do that is that when it was time for you to prospect, you didn't have that fear of, well, what if they say, come meet with me? You knew if they said, come meet with me, you knew how to handle that. You knew the listing presentation. So it almost gives you more confidence by doing it that way.
you're absolutely right, because
Right.
even like once I started making phone calls, I didn't think that. In my head, I'm like, "Give me an appointment. Give me an appointment. I want to go test myself."
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Uh,
awesome. I love that. And me, and I have to ask you because there are so many people who've gone through Push, and there's so many people who've met with Hal and gone through other types of training programs like Bold. And yet we know Pareto's rule, the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the agents actually make 80% of the income.
mhm.
What is it about you that has allowed you to start in November, take Push in March, and here we sit? You have how many listings currently?
8.
8, with
Ooh.
probably one more on the way. Knowing you got something in the pipeline where you will have your ninth one next week. Am I correct?
Oh, hopefully, yeah. I have two appointments.
What is that like? What allowed you to just get out there and make it happen like you have? Because everyone has the same opportunities. What do you think you did to create that opportunity for yourself?
I listen, David. I listen to you when you are saying, um, I feel I see every opportunity, every transaction as an opportunity. If I
Mm-hmm.
did not get the listing, I learn from it, and I listen to you. um, I There have been hard times, and you know about it.
Mm-hmm.
When I've, but nothing has really put me, crushed me to a level that I'll leave it and I'll just go in my own zone. It's for a day, and I come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have bold all the coaches. Everyone is saying the same thing: lead gen. And when you lead gen and when you have things in your pipeline, it's different. It's like the domino effect.
Yes.
I did. I have 8 listings, but 2 of them, the sellers are really stubborn. They don't want to do any price reduction. I got them offers. It's not that I could not get them offers, but um, they were strong. Like they wanted a certain number, and now I'm fine. I'm going to have them a meeting with them, a tough one this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they don't agree on a price reduction, I'm willing to walk away or whatever they want to, because I have stuff and I want to use that time.
Yeah.
And I know now that if I continue lead genning, I'll have more business. I want to find the motivated sellers only.
Yes.
I want to work because it's so easy working with them. And my first listing, I did not listen to you. It was not a motivated seller. My listing was at 4%. and she was my toughest seller. She
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Versus somebody who's giving me 5%, 6% are such easy sellers. They are coachable. So I'm just like, I'm following what you're saying, and
Yep.
I'm implementing it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not, maybe I'm hardworking. That's helping
Of
me.
course.
I
Hmm.
can think out of the box. That's why I have two deals under contract, which were not even on the market. But I feel I'm a realistic matchmaker.
That's her job.
Just yesterday, one of my the seller in Little Ferry, he's a real estate agent, and he told me, I have trust in you because if you can get my listing, I'm an agent, and you got my listing, you can do anything. I'm like, I really appreciate that, but yes, I'm gonna. And I did negotiate. I'm discovering myself, David, and
Yes.
with the training, the negotiations, and I got the number he wanted, which which gives me that confidence again. And then I'm back again. I call it hunting. I really hunt for motivated sellers. And
That's
when I
exactly it.
say that to myself and I'm in that mindset, anybody who's not motivated, I don't care. I'll leave them. I just want to work with the motivated ones. It's fun. I see this as fun. There are systems in place. Everything is in place. Just don't let yourself down with, unmotivated people, because there are people who need you.
There are people who need you. And one thing I always say, and I'll go to you next, Diego, we lead generate so we don't have to tolerate. And
Yes.
it's just what you said. The people who aren't motivated, okay, see you later. There are plenty of people who are, and my job is to hunt and go find the motivated people. And when you find motivated people, not only will they price it correctly and pay you your fair commission, you will get the deal closed because they will price it correctly because of the motivation. So I love to hear you say that you hunt. I love to hear you say that you lead generate, because you do that. You don't have to tolerate people who are not motivated. And these sellers that you have, if they're not willing to price their property correctly, you can say bye to them because you know you're going to replace them with someone else.
Yes.
So you're not tied to the outcome. Same question for you, Diego. I kind of want to know, with you starting off, getting what got you going, your first deal. What was it that actually got you out there creating opportunities for yourself?
Um, so in all reality, I've lived in many places here in New Jersey, right? And I have a huge, huge personal circle, right? My sphere is very big. The other day I was, following the D2 from Bold, and I couldn't even finish my A's in
Wow,
like 2 hours.
that's a
So
lot.
I have, yeah, an insane amount of numbers. And before I used to be like, why do I have all these people's phone numbers? And then once I started real estate, I was like, wow, now I could use everybody's number.
Hmm.
So that's how I started. I was still working at the bar, and I would
Hmm.
let all my bar regulars know what I was doing and things like that. My first listing, which actually didn't even make it to the market because she decided not to sell, so that experience was cool. She was a bar regular, and she was an expired and wanted to go FISBO, and I went and did my listing presentation. She loved it, and we were getting ready to list. And then that was like literally right before COVID. And then she's like, you know what, Diego, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to stay here for a few more years. Fine. It's okay. I still keep in touch with her every now and then, because you should always keep in touch with everybody that you speak with and have spoken with about real estate. Even the ones that you haven't, you will speak to them about real estate.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fear, honestly. Like you told me once, you're like, Diego, you're getting all this business from your sphere. Like you should hone on that. You can call FISBOs and expires all you want. However, this is what's working for you. Like definitely hone on that. And I don't forget about my expires and FISBOs either, because it's definitely a very important part of this business. And like Meena said, prospecting and just lead genning is everything in this business. And same thing. If they're not motivated, just let them go, because they're not worth your time. You're going to spend way too much time for somebody that is going to be very hard to work with in the long run.
Yep.
Instead, all that time and effort and energy, you could spend it elsewhere where it'll be high leverage and make more money.
Makes a lot of sense to me, Diego. You know, a lot of times I look at agents and it seems like they're starting this business and they have a lot of bad habits that don't serve them well being business owners. We own a business. This is not our job. This is our business. And Meena, I'd be curious to know from you, do you have any bad habits when it comes to running your real estate business that you want to admit to?
Yes, I do. I need to protect my time
Mm,
more. I think I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on systems. And I like, before we go to that question, I did want to mention two more
yes.
things that, number one, we said that Diego and me are different. I came into real estate, I took coaching, and I went slowly from prospecting to, I took my class for listing presentation. He knew listing presentation up front. I also believed in you guys when you guys said that just bring somebody on, which I was open to.
Mm-hmm.
My first few listings, I got somebody on, I learned the systems. So, which I really want to open it up to new agents, that don't be scared to lead gen. I would suggest lead gen from day one. If you get a listing, bring somebody on, share it and learn, because I did that thrice. And from that, I found that, I can work very well with one of them, Jason. And he did mention that I'm supposed to talk about how I learned things from him. Yes, he has good systems,
Yes.
Jason. So I'm going to brag about you that he taught me to protect my time,
Yes.
and he also teaches me the systems. That's why we go well. But if I had not shared my listing with him, I wouldn't have discovered that. And eventually, it's going to help me make me a better real estate agent. So I definitely would say no harm in splitting your commission upfront for the first deal to learn.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
that was one thing that I really wanted to talk about.
Well, I just want to back up a little bit because you said protecting your time was a bad habit. And so, one of the laws that we learned in Bold, it's not about selling real estate, it's about following a schedule and having things time blocked, right? I mean, that's so important, especially now during COVID, where you're running a business from home. You know, a lot of us have kids that are doing schooling from home, our spouse is working from home. We really have to be regimented and time blocked. And so, if you could give one piece of advice towards a new agent around protecting their time, what would that one piece of advice be?
uh, just 15 minutes night before,
Mm-hmm.
plan your day the following day, and put it on a piece of paper, because that has really helped me. I never did that. And it's so important that when you have it on the piece of paper, when you have your meetings, when you have your appointments, you can reshuffle it and on a piece of paper you can see that you are giving so much time to your family, and you can balance your life. At the same time, you need somebody who can hold you accountable for that.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, I did the accountability with you, David, and that really helped me put that habit in place where I was doing it. I was not doing it as well, but still doing it a little bit did help me plan my day.
That's great. That's a good,
So
very good piece of advice, Meena, about taking time the day before and planning out your day. So when you start, you already have it written down, you know what you need to focus on versus sitting down at your desk and it's all unorganized and you're working to figure out your day the night before. Take 15 minutes, plan everything out, and then attack.
yes.
Awesome. That's awesome. Diego, tell me a bad habit that you have when it comes to your real estate business. He's like, ooh, let me get ready.
Well, time blocking was definitely one of them, and I'm still getting better. Week by week, time blocking and learning how to literally time block everything from. I started doing it now from the time that I wake up. That exercise, eat breakfast, separate a few time, some time for my family. At the beginning, it was definitely a challenge for me because especially with family and everything, um, my wife wasn't too happy with me investing so much time in real estate and this and that, and it was definitely hard. So it's definitely a learning experience, time blocking, and I could see how important it is to time block. And like you guys say, just respect your time, respect your lead gen time, respect your family time, and just really stick by your schedule. I could see how important it is. So that's one of the bad habits that I am working on getting
Right.
better at. Also, I used to be a big procrastinator.
Mm.
I used to be a big procrastinator, and that has definitely stopped. I mean, I'm not gonna say since I started real estate, because at the beginning I would say, it's okay, I'll do it later, and then later comes by and you have 50 million things to do and you don't even know which one to do first.
Yes. Yes. So a couple of things that I hear you saying, and it's all so true. The time blocking is that.
You went away for a little bit.
Yes, we didn't
You
hear.
said also true.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just do this so I know to edit. It's also true what you guys say about time blocking. And so the training I had told me, when I'm doing my calendar, put the family on first. Any activities. So I have two daughters, volleyball games I want to go to, date night with my wife, whatever it is for family goes on first. Then there's my time. I used to take Friday afternoon to go see a movie. Nobody knew that, even my wife. It was just on my calendar as a meeting. However, that was my time. And then any training that I wanted to go to was on that calendar. And then time for business, lead gen, role play, appointments. And so you make time for your family by putting them first and then respecting that schedule. It's just like we're professionals, just like your lawyer, your dentist, your doctor. You can't call them today and say, I'm coming in today at 5. They're going to say, no, you're not. Here's when you can come in. And we have to learn that in our business, we need to have standards in our business. And so what are some of the standards that you have that are non-negotiable in your business that you think new agents or agents in general should have? For me, it was protecting my schedule, protecting the time for me, not taking overpriced listings, not reducing my commission. Like, what are some standards that you have for yourself and your business? I'll start with Meena on that one.
I have decided I'm never going to take an overpriced listing and 4% commission. Never.
Hold on a second. I have to drink to that. Cheers to that one. I got to drink to that.
Yeah. If obviously overpriced by a few $1,000s with a price change, if I see that the seller is coachable, I'll go for it. But if I see that he's not coachable, I'm just not going to take the listing for the sake of taking the listing.
Good.
And 4%, a big no. That's not worth my time.
Okay. You know your worth.
Yes.
Awesome. Diego, how about you? What are some standards that you have either created for your business or standards that you need to create for your business?
Same thing. I mean, not taking any overpriced listings, because first, you just know they're not going to sell.
Right.
It'll be a big waste of time and money and effort. And not my commission is also not negotiable. I actually lost on a listing because I wouldn't lower it to 5%. And when I called the seller and asked for some feedback on what I could do better to for next time, and he said, you need to get better at negotiating your commission. I said, oh, really? So you think by me lowering my commission to you are better negotiating skills? And then I just stayed quiet, and he's like, well, that's just not the money that we wanted to pay. I'm like, okay, but you're talking about negotiation. How are you going to feel when this person that you just talked down to 5%, how are you going to feel about them negotiating on your behalf with the sale of your most valuable asset.
Mm.
And then he's like, well, that's just the price that we wanted to pay. I said, okay, fine. It's okay. I'm still going to keep in touch, and I'm always here. Call me if you have any questions, although we can't speak about your listing because you already have somebody representing you. If you have
Right.
any other questions, because he's got other properties in different states and actually in Colombia as well.
Okay.
And I told him I would help him sell that too. So yeah, I'd still keep in touch. And when it expires, I'm going to go get that listing.
Of course you will. And as you said, when it expires, because a lot of times an agent that will take a lower commission is also probably not defending the price, and they're taking an overpriced listing as well. So those are two standards that you really should have in your business. No overpriced listings, and don't discount your commission.
Yep.
Lead generate, so you don't have to tolerate that. The only reason you have to take an overpriced listing or lower your commission is because you don't have anything else going on and you feel pressure to have some activity. If you had a pipeline of other people that you knew were going to list their home, you would be able to walk away knowing there's still some opportunity out there for you. So lead generating is extremely important. So I'm glad to hear you guys both say that.
Yeah, I also want to speak about another one that, even though I know listings is the name of the game,
Mm-hmm.
however, buyers are also part of this game and a big part of this business. And one of my big things is I don't work with a buyer that doesn't sign an agreement with me. And you go out, with someone that doesn't sign an agreement, they go out with another agent and another agent, and you don't even know who's going to give you business. So that's another big one for me.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So they have to have the signed buyer agreement, and also pre-qualification, I'm sure, is another
Of
one for you as well.
course.
Yeah. So I've been meeting so many new agents lately, and they're asking me, should I be an individual agent or should I join the team? Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I actually, when I first started real estate, I reached out to a few agents that I know that they've been in the business for a while. Some of them in teams, some of them not. And I asked the same exact question. Um, One of them told me, you know what, as a new agent, you should join a team because you're going to get a lot of coaching, and you're not going to have to pay for it. It'll, they're going to coach you, and it'll just be best that you learn from all these other people. Then I spoke to other agents, and they're like, no, you don't really have to. I mean, if if you invest in yourself, and this is what I believe in, and this is why I have not joined a team, and I will not join a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you invest in yourself, I mean, you should always invest in yourself for your own growth as a professional and as a person. That's one of my big things as well. So if you invest in yourself, for example, like taking classes like Push, like Ignite with Hal Benz, and taking advantage of all these classes, especially in our office, that there's so many classes. And then reading books, reading lots of these things. I mean, paying for coaching is also, I'm going to do that as well. I'm paying for it now with Keller Williams, but
Mm-hmm.
as soon as that's over, I'm also going to hire a coach, because it's important. You need a coach. People that are in the gym hire a personal trainer, and all the professional athletes, they've been playing game, basketball, football, baseball, everything for many years. They're professional, and they have coaches,
Have coaches.
and then they have coaches after that, and then they have other coaches. So it's definitely very important in growth. Therefore, I I don't like the idea of joining a team, and that's just a personal preference. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that there's anything wrong with it, but me myself, I just don't like the idea of working for someone when one of the reasons why I started this career is because I wanted to work for myself.
You wanted to work for yourself. Okay. And Diego, I love the fact that you said hiring a coach. And Meena, typically the reason someone hires a coach is because of the accountability that comes with that. How do you hold yourself accountable, or who holds you accountable to make sure that you are making the calls and keeping certain standards up in your business? How do you work on your accountability?
Right now, I have a few people who are holding me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You always need someone, and someone who's going to holding accountable is not just reminding you of something. But when you see that person calling you, you need to feel, if you've not done it, then you have to feel scared, and if you've done it, then you have to feel the excitement to share.
Yep.
So you need the right person to hold. I could not let a friend of mine hold me accountable, or my husband hold me accountable, because it's not going to mean anything. You need to find that right person to hold you accountable.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It needs to be someone that you respect so much that you don't want to let them down.
Yes.
Right. So, and it's huge because in this business, one of my biggest frustrations, I had been in coaching for a number of years, and I would meet with my coach and we would set up this goal for the week. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then the following week we get together and I didn't do X, Y, and Z. But what I didn't like about that coaching arrangement is that he never said, why did you choose not to do that? And what kept you from doing that? And what are you going to do moving forward to make sure that we don't have the same conversation next week? You need someone who's not going to just say, oh, it's okay, I get it, do it next time. Because in this business, these things that you're setting up to do are what's going to allow you to get the activity and get the listings and make the money. And you need someone that is going to hold you accountable to do the things that you say that you're going to do. It's huge. It's so important.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. How about you, Diego? Anyone holding you accountable?
Man, this is why I told you I'm getting a coach.
I had Diego, I had David hold me accountable for a while. Oh my God. I'm telling you. I did let him down, but I'm planning to start again. Yes. For
You
Yeah,
know,
no.
a while.
don't
This
don't say that you let me down. You know, it's just a matter of we really just have to make a commitment to ourselves. And I think one thing we don't do, we make like I make commitments to my wife and I make commitments to my daughters and I make commitments to people that I'm coaching. And then I look at my life and I'm like, oh, I didn't work out today. I need to make a commitment to me. And I think that's also the biggest thing with being an agent, whether you're new or a veteran, make commitments to yourself. And it's a non-negotiable. You have to keep those commitments. It's an integrity thing.
this is what I look at to kind of keep myself accountable, just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
My board, my oh, I can't see it with my back.
Oh, yeah, with your virtual background, I can't see
Yeah.
it. You got to take that out, unfortunately.
While he takes that out, I have one thing to share about joining teams.
Yes.
I mean, to anybody this is how I thought of it. I'm new to real estate. I'm learning. Obviously, I have that feeling. Uh, oh, Diego, we see that. But then it went back again. That was nice.
Wait, let me go back.
Yeah, go back and then Meena, I want you to finish your thoughts. So Diego, I saw your board, I saw your picture, see your
So
family.
the first time when I got my pictures taken for my business card, that's the first thing I did when I got that's me capping.
Oh, nice. In the
Nice.
red frame.
Yeah, I put it
Yep.
over somebody else's picture. I'm sorry, I don't know who that was, but I put my picture over you.
It's okay.
That's
And then
nice.
that's
Just some scripts and things like that. And I think it's a good thing to have a productivity board to kind of hold yourself accountable for things and just always be looking at that while you're lead genning.
Yes.
What I think that's important as well. So the times that you feel like giving up and you're frustrated because you're not getting the phone calls, you're not getting the appointments, you look at that board and you remember this is what I'm doing it for. And so I'm going to keep pushing through until I get that person on the phone, until I book that appointment, until I get that listing. It's extremely important. Meena, you were saying something, so I want to go back to you
About the team, yeah.
about the team.
I saw it like this, that, at this point, I'm nervous. Why would I want to join a team? Because I need that support. I would feel more secure. But at any point, the day I decide to leave the team, I'll be at square one.
Mm.
With the same feeling out in the world by myself. Rather, if I'm going to be spending that time in real estate, and like Diego said, invest in myself, then try it on my own first. And if I can do it on my own, then maybe I can create my own team one day.
That's exactly it.
That's how I saw it, and that's how I feel about it.
Well, here's one thing I want to say to the both of you. You can do whatever you want in this business.
Yes,
The
that's the
world
best.
is the world is yours. That's the best part, right? If you, I mean, look at me just as an example. I started off buying properties for myself, and then that turned into me getting my license and helping other people buy properties. That turned into me becoming a listing agent. That turned into me starting the push program, and then thinking, okay, I don't want to do sales anymore. I want to help Meena and Diego go out and do sales. And so that turned into a class that I was offering that turned into something that the office is offering. So whatever you want to do and accomplish, you can do. It's a matter of every day when you wake up, we make a choice. And how are we choosing to show up? And if you make a choice and you choose to show up and be your best self and understand that you got a vision board with all the things that are truly important to you, and you're working to hit those goals, you can create a team. Because Meena, you might say, I love real estate and I love negotiating contracts, but showing properties, I don't need to go show properties. And so I'm going to hire a showing assistant. Let them show everybody houses. When they find the one house that's right for them, they come to me, I negotiate it, and we get it through to closing, right? Diego, you might find that you like getting on the phone and booking the appointments, but you don't necessarily enjoy managing the listings. So you have somebody on your team and they run with those listings and manage it, and you just become a rainmaker that's booking appointments. Whatever it is, we can do. We just need to determine what do we like about this business and what are some things that we can leverage out and start finding opportunities to leverage out, right? Sky's
Yes,
the limit.
sky's the limit.
Sky's
Yes.
the limit with this. And
I mean, I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to share about the two under contracts I have.
please.
Um, so initially, I was just making all these phone calls to FISBOs. That was during quarantine, March, April, when a lot of people, my friends, family, everyone's like, don't make these phone calls. You're harassing. You're not going to end up anywhere. You know, it's okay. Just take it easy. And I believed in you. I was, I did push. I was making these phone calls, and I was at a point I did not have any. Even today, I don't have a dialer. I just make these phone calls from Zillow. I knew Zillow by heart, what was coming up. And there was this lady that I was in touch with. Her cousin was going to list her house. I did not get the listing. Her cousin was stuck in Europe because of COVID. He came back, he listed the property. I still would call her. Hey, what's going on? Okay, I see that it's listed. I'll make sure if I come across a buyer, I'll bring. She told me about her investment property that she wanted to sell, which was off market. And I found a buyer for that. So I'm getting the buyer's side. She didn't list that with me, but I'm under contract for that. So
Awesome.
anything can happen, it's just about connecting. And then there was another FISBO that I did not get to list with. I still kept a good repo, and I found buyers for them from one open house. So it's that's the best part. And my listing in Little Ferry, who's a real estate agent, he had listed it on NJMLS. I took my buyers there. We went under attorney review. My buyers backed off. I still kept a good rapport with that agent, and I saw that he was not marketing it right. So I proposed to him that give it to me, I'll market it for you. And I got the listing. So it's I mean, that's what I love about this business, that it could be, it has so many different, you could do anything. Just think
Right.
out of the box, and it could be anything. Yeah. So I'm really excited.
I love that. I love that. And I definitely want to respect the time that you guys are giving me. Can you drop a couple nuggets? I'll start with you, Diego, for someone who's new to real estate. If there was anything you could share with them to encourage them, or if there was training you felt like they should be taking, or things they should be doing, or books they should be reading, if there's anything you would want to share with a new agent, what would it be?
Um, Definitely some training. I mean, your push program is great. I've taken it 4 times. It's amazing. Definitely do that if they're in our office, especially take advantage that it's for free. I actually paid for it the first time as a new agent, and just a few weeks, and now you guys get it for free. Well, take advantage of that, and read some books, like some books that you can really learn from. I'm reading the Hoss Pratt Listing Boss right now, which is amazing.
Hmm.
It's really good. Miracle Morning is also good. So, and it, like me and I was talking like the night before, taking your 15 minutes to write everything out that you need to do the next day. That's a great book. I mean, definitely reading books, but most important, after taking all the classes, you can read all the classes, take all the classes, read all the books that you want, but you need to implement.
Yes.
If you do not implement, you're just wasting your time and money and everything. So a nugget is everything that you learn, become a master implementer. You learn, you implement it literally the next day implement it.
Great advice, man. Thank you so much for that. And Mina, same question for you. If you could give nuggets to some of the newer agents that are out there listening to this, what encouragement, what classes should they take? What books should they be reading? What should they be plugged into in order to be successful?
Class again, push for, I swear by it. I've taken it 5 times, and I'm going to be that, like Heza says, I'm going to be that student who never graduates. David, I'm here always.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, I had to mention her as well. She's a very big part of this.
Man, she's special.
Yes, she is. So push for sure. I like Hellben's Ignite. It's a great class.
Hmm.
And he does, a class for buyers and sellers that also gives you a good idea about step by step how to, you deal with them. Um, Other than that, books I just read Shift, and it really changed my perspective. I loved a Shift. It has everything, and I follow Gary Keller. I listen to his podcast. I listen to your podcast. They keep me in right mindset.
Great.
And again, Diego was right on that. Implement. That's really important. But remember that things won't happen at once. But if you are doing the work, if you are talking to one new person about real estate, you are that much better than yesterday. And let's say, for example, you are 1% better than yesterday. By the year end, you will be 300% better.
I love it. I love it, Mina. And
So it's
so,
just that you are improving. Don't
yes.
get discouraged. Just keep going. Take these baby steps. I think Gary Keller says that, or somebody, that we tend to oversee what we can do. We always think that we can do something big in a long time, but we can do a lot in a short time. I don't know. I don't
No, you're
remember.
saying it right. It's almost like the same concept, Mina. You got a vacation planned and you leave on Sunday. It's how much stuff do you get accomplished that week before you go? You can do so much when you have the timeline and the deadline there. So you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So here's something I have for both of you. You guys, Mina, you walked into the office, you saw the capping wall, and you said, I'm going to be on there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Diego. He even put his face over somebody else's face and got the picture, right? He's so committed to capping. And so what I want to say is, when you guys cap, I want to have you guys back on here with another lesson of what you did to make it on that capping wall, because that feeling, when the first time I capped, it was a tremendous feeling. And it was so funny because Sally had a ladder and she walked up on this ladder to put the cap on my head because of how tall I am. So it's such a memorable moment for me, because that's something I wanted. I wanted that. And I said, I want to be up on that wall. And I made it up on that wall, and putting that cap on and getting my check at 100%, man, there's nothing like it. So I want to have you guys back on here to celebrate that success when you hit it, because I know it's just a matter of when you hit it.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I'll see you next year.
Yes.
My man.
And
So
I was excited. Go ahead, David.
no, go ahead. You go ahead, Mina, please.
I was really excited. I'm very ambitious. Like Patty, I love her interview, and I manifest. And 5 years down the line, I see myself on Forbes. So this is my first interview, David. Looking forward to many more.
Well, that's awesome. And so, I do photography. So when you're on Forbes, I
Yeah.
want you to tell them for my cover photo, I want to bring my own personal photographer. And I want to take that picture of you, kind of like walking into your jet, right? I want that picture.
Yes.
I was about to say, don't forget the private jet.
Oh, we can't forget the private jet. I hear Hayes is saying, I'm gonna be on Meena's jet, and we're going like taking trips all over. So I'm excited for that. And I just want to say, I like to wrap up the interview with you guys posing a question to the next person that I interview. And it could be personal, it could be professional, but give me a question that I could give to the next person that I interview. And it can be any type of question, personal or professional.
What are your plans? Like, if you had to describe your career in 5 years, how would that be?
So if you had to describe where you see yourself in your business in 5 years, what would that look like?
Yeah, I would definitely like to know it about some agents out there.
Okay. Diego, you want to add to that, or you want us to stick with Mina's question?
What is your big why? And if it's an agent or a person that's been an agent for a while, what was your big why when you started, and has it stayed the same?
Ooh.
I love that. Let's change it. That's my question.
No. So I'm going to have two. So I'm going to have your question and Diego's question because I love them both. And how great of a question is that, Diego? Like, are you still working towards that big why? I kind of think of Gary Vaynerchuk. I want to buy the New York Jets, and that's his ultimate big why. He's always working towards that. He does have smaller goals, but that is his big why. And so I would be curious to know, have you hit that big why that you started with? And then how have your goals changed? And now what are you looking to accomplish? Fantastic questions. So I want to say cheers and thank you to you guys. I appreciate your time. And I know that there are so many new agents that are just kind of lost and not knowing what they should be doing, what classes they should be taking, what books they should be reading, how to focus on their mindset and time blocking, that they will gain some value from hearing from you two, and also knowing that you guys implement it and you're having success because you're doing the right things. So thank you so much for being on Scotch and Scripts. I really appreciate the time with you guys today.
Thank you, David. It's my pleasure.
All right.